Hello and welcome to Gold Talk Sports. Today we're gonna be previewing the Giants versus Lions preseason game. Two heads up, I am a Giants fan, so this video is gonna be more focused on the Giant side. And the second one is I'm gonna be talking about a bunch of players in this video. The only issue is we don't know how much each player is actually gonna play. Coach Dable hasn't said we're gonna play our starters or we're going to sit our starters. And if he does play the starters, we don't know if they're going to play a drive. We don't know if they'll play a quarter. We really don't know any of that. So that's only time will tell. So I might be talking about a player, and that player might only get a drive. There's not much we could do about that. But we're going to start over with the Lions just because there's a couple players that I want to talk about real quick, players that I want to be watching and see what they do. First player is going to be Jameson Williams, second-year wide receiver. He's really, really fast, and I really want to see how our defense does against a guy like that. Second one is Jahmyr Gibbs. He is a rookie running back out of Alabama, and he was looking pretty good in joint practice. I know that he cooked Bobby Okereke on one rep. I'm not too worried, but I do want to see how he plays. And last person being Jack Campbell, linebacker out of, I believe, Iowa. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure he's from Iowa. I want to see how he does too because, I got a buddy who's a Lions fan. I know I know a lot of Lions fans that weren't necessarily sure what the pick was about. So I'm interested to see how he does, if he proves the Lions right for picking him where they did. For the Giants, I want to watch Jalen Hyatt. He was having a great training camp. Haven't heard as much of him in joint practice, but I'm still excited to see what he does. Darius Slayton, one of our big names last year in camp, he really struggled, and he ended up sinking down the depth chart and then fought his way back up and ended up having a pretty decent season. So I know that he caught a touchdown in 11-on-11s. In joint practice on Wednesday. So I'm interested to see what he does. Trey Hawkins, late draft pick, playing cornerback. I'm very interested to see what he does. He's been having a great training camp. We're going to be talking more about him later. Same thing with Deonte Banks. We're going to be talking about him more later. But he's another player I want to watch because he was really struggling in training camp. And then one last player that I think is going to be interesting to watch for the Giants is running back Eric Gray, fifth-round pick out of Oklahoma. I think he might play an interesting part. Now, some notes I want to run through real quick are we're going to start off with Eric Gray, actually. We're most likely going to see him a couple reps at running back, but we're most likely going to be seeing him playing punt returner. We weren't sure what we were going to do with punt returner. We weren't sure if we were going to keep Jamison Crowder or hadn't have him play punt returner or bring in Eric Gray. We weren't sure, but our unofficial depth chart was released, I believe, Monday or Tuesday, and he's listed as the starting punt returner. So we're going to be seeing him there. Let's move on to the secondary. Deonte Banks, our first-round pick out of Maryland. He was really struggling in camp. He was getting kind of picked on, but in joint practices against the Lions, he hasn't been getting picked on. He actually hasn't been getting targeted a lot. So I'm interested to see how he does in this preseason game. And if he gets targeted a lot, if he doesn't, that's going to be something to watch. And staying in the secondary, Trey Hawkins, another rookie corner, late pick. Nobody was really expecting much out of him until he came to training camp and absolutely balled out. I mean, this guy has been having a crazy camp until joint practices against the Lions. He's been getting cooked. But I will say, who is he guarding and getting cooked by? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Probably top 25, 20 receiver in the NFL. Incredibly good. It's going to be difficult for any rookie cornerback to come in and guard St. Brown. So I'm not too worried. He has been running with the ones, so I don't know how much he's going to play. I hope that he plays a lot of the preseason game because I want to get some film on him and see how he does. But only time's going to tell. Now we're going to move over to the offensive line. Mark Lewinsky, right guard, starter last year. Before coming to New York, he was the starting right guard for the Indianapolis Colts. Always been a solid run blocker, not so great in the pass. game. He's been losing snaps. I believe Ben Bredesen has been taking some of them, but Ben Bredesen has been kind of playing all over the place. I'm pretty sure he's been getting snaps at left guard, right guard, and center a little bit. But Glowinski's losing snaps. So is he going to lose his starter spot? We really don't know. It's possible. That's going to be something to watch. And staying in the offensive line, John Michael Schmitz, our second round pick from Minnesota, he's going to be our starting center, which I think a lot of Giants fans kind of knew when we drafted him, because our two centers last year, we had John Feliciano, who left. I can't remember where he went, but he's gone. And then Nick Gates went and signed, I believe, a 3-year deal with the Washington Commanders. So we all kind of knew when we drafted him that he was going to be our starting center. So we'll see how he plays. I've heard that I've been hearing some good things about him in camp and such. So we'll see how that goes. Real quick, I want to talk about a UDFA quarterback, Tommy DeVito, out of Illinois. He is the third stringer. So obviously he doesn't get the snaps that Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor get as our first and second string. But when Coach Dable was asked about DeVito, Dable brought up himself the fact that because he's the third string, he's not getting all the snaps that the other two do. He's not getting a lot of opportunities. But when he does get those opportunities, he's been making the most of them. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to do in this first preseason game here. And we're going to move back over to the defense, specifically linebacker. Middle linebacker 2, because our first middle linebacker spot is going to be Bobby Okereke. There's no competition there. We gave him a bunch of money when he came over to New York. He's going to start. Now, the second middle linebacker spot was a bit more of a question, mainly because we got Micah McFadden, who played last year as a rookie, and Darian Beavers, who we drafted last year as a rookie but didn't play because of I believe it was a torn ACL or some sort of injury like that in training camp last year that completely ended his season. At the beginning of camp, there was some buzz that Darian Beavers was really fighting for that spot, but the later we get these couple of joint practices, it's been looking a lot like Micah Fadden's taking that spot. And staying with the defense for one more thing is the run game. So we have been struggling stopping the Lions' outside run game. I believe that we had a couple good reps, like 2 or 3, where we really set the edge well and shut it down. But primarily, they've been able to run all over us when it comes to outside the tackles. Inside is a different story. We've been shutting that down. Between Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams in that middle there, with Bobby Okereke behind them at middle linebacker, they haven't been able to run up the middle very much, if at all. So I wouldn't be worried about that at all. I would be worried about them bouncing it to the outside, though. I'm pretty sure that's all the notes that I wanted to go through and the players. So we're going to end this off with the score prediction. Who do I think is going to win this game? I think it's going to be the New York Giants. Now, I know that can come off as a little bit biased, being that I am a Giants fan. But the reason for that is this is preseason. Preseason is basically all about teams' depth and getting those second, third, fourth stringers in, those UDFAs, the rookies, getting them some playing time to adjust. So I think that we have a better depth than the Detroit Lions have, which is why I think that we're going to win this game. My score prediction is going to be 24-21. I think the Giants are going to win by a field goal. But, we'll see. We'll see Friday night. I believe that's all. So I'm going to end this one here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.